So no, it's not vacation time, it's just that time. It's time to, I don't know, be set apart in the crowd, be noticeable from afar, to be, man, I want to say we need voices and perspectives of clarity right now in this, I want to say, a time when people are not only galvanized towards action and rightly so, just furious, just disgusted at what restraint has wrought. I, for one, have lived in restraint for years. You know, at the headwater of this evolution, revolution of gender bending and monikers and special rights and special social, I guess, I don't even know what to call it. Like, you're just, as a human being in this time, we were all expected to stand by and let what we could all see was imaginary playtime pass as reality. Something that I would always say pretend time, you know, as a kid, was expected and all protected as reality, okay? And we were all supposed to pretend like together, you know? And I've never been one to shy far away from reality. So I want to say real world, reality world, you know, in a place where, you know, the obvious is the rule, you know, such as, you know, medical facts and just denying of reality is sticking your head in the sand. I mean, if you don't like something, you deal with it the best you can, but you still have to deal with it. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that you can do away with it. And I want to say sort of this whole mentality goes hand in hand. This mentality of, you know, being able to pretend things into existence. Yeah, there's a aspect in the manifestation of things into reality and the processes of incantation and, you know, different things when you're dealing with esoteric type beliefs where it's really stemmed in non-reality and never will break its bounds. Then at some point you have to recognize the bounds and just stop, right? And man, I mean, it's been a long time that I lost contact with the majority of my family over my personal beliefs over playing pretend, you know, and denying your feelings and how you truly feel about things and just not speaking them because, well, they're against the greater mass belief, right? And truly, it is just a personal belief, so it's not needed that everybody believe the same or understand exactly how I believe. It just wasn't that important. My point has always been that I have a right to believe how I believe and what I believe, and I exercise that right by allowing others, you know. I mean, I've gone through it in my personal relationships with my kids where they feel that they, you know, are same-sex liking and whatnot, but then what do you know, that changed later. You know, it's not something that I ever was super against, but my thoughts and my beliefs were always out on display. I didn't need to berate my child over her beliefs or anything like that. I just did feel it necessary for her to believe that I don't believe in it, and I don't support it, and I wouldn't be somebody who's proud and happy about it, right? But at the same time, I love my child first over anything else. So, you know, I don't prioritize, like I like to say, where dicks do and do not go doesn't make a person who they are. Okay? It's a overemphasis on sexuality. Where dicks do and do not go doesn't make a person who they are. And when you reduce a person down to their sexuality, you're really turning them into a lesser being. You're denying the greater spiritual aspect of the person. You're only turning them into a physicality. Are you only a physical being, or do you have a soul? Does your soul matter? The actions of your body do reflect on your soul forever. Does that matter? I mean, it's not a hate thing about your choices. It's a, my choice matters too. My opinion matters too. Just because it differs from you doesn't mean it ceases to exist, okay? And this is something that I personally went through with my majority of my family, of being disowned because of my perspective was not favorable. I didn't agree. We had some arguments. I may have said some things that were hurtful, but so did they. And, well, you throw mud at me, then I throw rocks at you. You know, I mean, people have picked on me since I was a child, and in my older years, I got mean. And then I overcame that, sort of. You know, I mean, people don't pick on me anymore, but I still have that little person in me that wants to stab somebody when they think that they might want to. I don't do it, but sometimes I feel like it. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't, right? At any rate, having that differentiation in you of feeling things and acting on them, right? I mean, sure, I've felt like certain things, but my soul would never allow me to harm another human being due to their beliefs. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It doesn't compute to me. Why would I want to take somebody else's ability to enjoy life away from them? Because of what they think and what they believe? That's not real. It's not. So I just want to say, you know, this loudness, you know, it used to represent something. During the Civil War, there were groups of people that were just kind of embodying the same spirit of, man, what are we really fighting over? Like, there's justice, there's right in the world, there is. And if you can't see what's just and right over your petty, ego-driven, you know, simple left, right, black, white, red, blue, gay, not gay, if you can't see beyond that to human, love, life, happiness, enjoyment, you know, there's a lot to be had in life other than your political view, your sexuality, your beliefs. My God, is it only about you people? There's a whole other world of things out there. There's animals and plants, and then in the spirit, there's a spirit in everything, in all of us, and there's good and evil in all of us as well. It's a choice which one we feed. Which dog do you feed? Do you feed your black dog or your white dog? You know, do you feed the good or do you feed the evil? I like to feed both of them. I think they're both necessary. And sometimes I need my evil dog. I need it to act sometimes. It does a good job in certain situations. It's the right dog for certain situations. Most of the time, I need my good dog, you know, my sheepdog. Because my sheepdog's gonna do what I normally need done in a daily life, you know. I need that protective sense, you know, that I got your back. I got the right on my side, you know. I've got the goodness and graciousness and love in my heart on my side. But then in other times, there's a time when that wolf is the right dog. You know, the wolf in sheep's clothing, right? The wolf in sheep's clothing. Well, sometimes it's a sheepdog in wolf's clothing, right? I mean, every once in a while it's that. And I want to say that's what this shirt's about. That's what it was originally meant to represent. It was always a sign of, hey, you can see me out here. I definitely stand out. But it also means I'm not with you guys. Kind of like Riddick. They're like, everybody else is standing and bowing and doing exactly what they were told. Who are you? What are you doing just standing there? He's like, I'm not with these guys. And that's real. Like, I want to be in the middle because I care about people, humanity. I care about choice, freedom. I'm Aquarius, so I'm all about individuality and new. I don't really have a rigid mindset on how people should be and sexuality and all that. I believe in freedom of choice, and everybody should be able to do and live and whatever, do what thou will. You know what I mean? But at the same time, let others live and do as they will. My Lord. It's the ego-based self-worship in this world right now that's driving this ability to look at other people as things. And I've been there, trust me. I have viewed people as things because being half black, half white, you're not really accepted on either side. Nobody ever really accepts you because you're not like anyone. So being a misfit kind of gives you that outside perspective where I'm really not with you guys. I'm really not, never have been. I have had an outside perspective my entire life, and from the outside looking in, and I'm watching, what I see is this disharmony is a division between souls that are connected but deny their own connection. We all feel each other, and we feel each other's hurt and pain and feelings, but we confuse what we're feeling and run from it. We get angry at it because we don't understand it. As psychic abilities and collective consciousness becomes more prevalently aware and starts to awaken in us, people don't understand what's happening. They don't understand the strange feelings and, you know, why am I thinking these thoughts and stuff like that. But those kind of things are just, they're not yours. They're your neighbors. They're your kid in the other room. They're the person you just walked by. And it's hard for the mind to grasp that that's real and even possible. But as energy increases in the earth and the Schumann resonance continues to rise and the frequencies begin to change, frequencies are shapes, frequencies emanate outward, they grow. Each frequency has a different function, like keys unlocking doors. Things are changing in the world on a social, spiritual, even on a physical level. But in the midst of this change, there still needs to be referees, in a sense. People who can see and stay calm. People who can be that lighthouse that know where the shore is from the sea. Because people are crashing into the rocks out there. They can't see in the fog. But I want to say some of us have x-ray vision. You know, some of us have been able to turn off those emotional frequencies that disturb and confuse and, tune into our own, or just learn to listen and not react. Let things be what they are. Let energies be what they are, and just filter them. A lot has been happening in the world and people are freaking out. But I gotta say, I'm sort of proud of my fellow humans because we haven't descended into civil unrest. And that's impressive. It's impressive because it is definitely time for adulting, for making good decisions towards a future for the future generations, rather than what seems to be this church of self is dying, right? The church of self is dying. The singularity. It's not about that. It's about the spirit, and the spirit's a collective thing. It's in everything and it matters. And the less you see that, and the more you focus only on you and disregard others, the further you are from the essence of spirit, which divides you from yourself on the inside and the outside. You can never be whole and never be happy when you deny what is truly part of you. What you don't like, what you see in others, is actually a reflection of something in yourself that you do not want to look at. And you see it in those others that you do not like. But they're only reflecting back what you don't like and don't want to see about yourself. This is where shadow work matters. Shadow work is very important because those reflections of the things that you stuff in the corners and never look at, they grow in the dark. They grow and they start to become your unconscious reactions, the things you say without thinking, the things you do before you think. Those are stemmed from the shadow, from the subconscious. They're the things you tell yourself without thought. It's that inner conversation that you forgot to tend. It's within our grasp. We are stewards of our own minds and souls. But just because you have a soul doesn't mean you know it. It's something that has to be cultivated, grown in a sense, fed the right food, fed the right people, the right thoughts. So, I'm going to just wear this shirt everywhere I go, literally until I start to feel better about my interactions in public with people, and in general, the psyche of the world currently is in upheaval. We need to let the things that have already happened sink in and take their emotional activation, causation that they're going to inevitably. It takes time to go through the stages of depression, right? We got to get past that anger stage before anybody acts, and that's a beautiful thing to see, that there have not been, retribution type acts on any mass scale is fantastic. It is, because we have this desire for that to happen from evil, and the longer we deny it, well, that evil acts out in its strongest form and takes its strongest action when it's flailing its death throes, right? Evil fights back the hardest when it knows that it's done, when it's losing, when it's falling down into the pit. That's when it wants to take its hardest strikes at us. So just don't be a target, for one. Don't put yourself out in places where you can become part of the problem. And in the face of anger and confusion, see it for what it is. It's someone who's angry at you, usually because you reflect something that they don't like about themselves. And whenever you decide to become exactly that reflection by embodying what they expect out of you, by being angry and going along with a fight or an argument, saying the words that they want you to say, is allowing the fight to go their way. Smile. Say, I love you. Say, have a great day. You definitely aren't going to get anywhere by arguing or even staying on subject. Being that I am fairly well versed in behavioral psychology, I am a master of redirection. And I'll change the subject at the drop of a hat. Sometimes, quite seriously, all of a sudden it'll be a drastic change and you can't think of anything else. But it's best if you can redirect softly, lovingly, caringly, as long as it's allowed, as long as it's possible. Stay in the love vibration, because love kills the demon. Love kills the demon. It's real. It's true. Hate never helps. Anger never helps. Fear never helps. It may keep you safe, but it won't improve anything ever. Never. So fear none. Don't let anybody get you angry. And we're never defeated. Never. There's no such thing as defeat until you give up. Defeat is only when you accept that there is nothing left to do, which is never true. Even when you can't see, there's still a path. Even in the dark, there's still a way. Even when there's no light, there's always a way. Always a way. In these days, yes, they're dark. Dark times. It seems like dark things are on the horizon. But then again, when you consider that this is what we're all seeing, it's what we're all focusing on, well, being that reality reflects what you put in. What you put in is what you get out. What you focus on is what you receive. What you believe is what you receive. You've got to take time amidst all this chaos and turmoil and anger and confusion to ground. Take your shoes off, put your feet on the earth for 30 minutes. Ground yourself to the earth. But not only grounding, ground yourself in your mind. Tell yourself loving, good, positive things. Take a break from the turmoil and the anger. There's plenty, and it'll still be there when you go back to look. Because nothing changes when you take a bath in anger. Love is the cure. When you are drenched in hatred, love is the cure. When you have been dipped headfirst in fear, love is the cure. It really is, and you have to have it in you. You have to give it to yourself. It's nobody else's job to find love for you. You have to have that self-love in you, and it doesn't come from you. It's a connection to spirit. It's a connection, if you want to say God, it's a connection to God. Whatever that God's name may be for you. I just say spirit because for me, I don't know that spirit has a name. Anybody else wants to say there's a name to spirit, fine, cool, I'm good with that. I don't care. I don't think that like Shakespeare, would a rose by any other name smell just as sweet, right? I mean, a rose is a rose is a rose. Well, if they all smell, you can see what it is, you can call it whatever you want. So the spirit is always part of you, and it can be also unfortunately intertwined with other people, especially when you're unaware. When you deny your own soul, your soul is at peril. When you don't recognize your own spirit, even though it still exists, it is in a state of chaos and upheaval, because you're allowing something, a part of you, your most important part, to exist as a figment of your imagination, as if it's not really a real thing. That's scary. We all have experiences in the spirit, in our dreams, in our daydreams, in our thoughts, in our quiet moments when we're in our body but we're not. That's the spirit. And if you're not aware of it, and you want to deny it, well, I just need to say that's a starting point. Good place to start. Admit you have a soul. Start there.